actually not supposed to be shooting a video today. I work in about 2 hours. The house is a mess. I haven't made lunch yet. But there's something I need to get off my chest right now. How are we as a society okay with the fact that in a Superman movie, a major plot point, a major scene, a key moment of the film revolves around one of the characters giving another a jar full of piss? Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Izzy, and this is the Izzy Nobry Show. Now, before I get started, my buddy Ed the Sock kind of deconstructs everything that I felt was wrong with the latest Batman vs. Superman movie. I'm gonna link it down here in the description so you can check it out. Did a great job, but I still wanted to say a few things about this film. I hated it, and I'm not the only one, because the movie is sitting at a 29% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now. There's just a lot of things that are wrong with this film. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Now, I wasn't against the casting. I know that originally there were rumors that they were gonna get Bryan Cranston to be Lex Luthor. I think that would probably have been better, but I was okay with Jesse Eisenberg until I actually saw him acting. He did a weird, like, it was almost like he was doing Lex Luthor if the Joker was impersonating Lex Luthor. He had a whole bunch of weird tics, like he had Tourette's going on, and just a little bit too crazy for my liking. He didn't really show, like, we never see in the movie why he's considered a smart guy. We were kind of told that he's smart, but we don't really see that. And this is something this movie does a lot. They don't show us things. They tell us things a lot of the times. That was a big theme in this movie. Now, I was one of the few people in my social internet circle that was like, you know what, let's wait, let's hold judgment. Let's at least see him in the costume and everything. Like, most people were raging from the get-go when the casting was announced. I was kind of cautiously optimistic, even though, you know, Daredevil. So I actually liked him in the film. I thought his motivation was great. They only needed one scene to really cement why Batman would hate Superman in this universe, and I thought it was incredibly effective. The scene of the Metropolis attack, as seen through the eyes of just the small people on the ground, through the eyes of Bruce Wayne, I thought that scene was incredibly effective in setting up the motivation why Batman would be so angry and so paranoid about Superman. Everybody else in this movie didn't really seem to have much of a motivation going on. Lex Luthor hates Superman. Well, why? Because he hates Superman. That's all it is. Again, they're not showing us why Lex Luthor hates Superman. They're telling us that he hates Superman, and there's a very important distinction. Now, here's another thing for you to chew on. Batman, right? World's greatest detective. The scheme that Lex Luthor pulls on Batman and goes unnoticed until Lex Luthor actually admits to doing it is akin to, you know, when you get a bad report card and then you just you forge your dad's signature on the report card and you hand it back? That is basically what Lex Luthor does in this film. That's basically it. There was just a lot of dream sequences that don't add to this movie at all and only serve the purpose of building up the Justice League movie. Now, that is totally fine. Marvel has been doing this very effectively in the last, what, 5 years or so. But the problem is you can't do that in a way that's detrimental to this movie. I'll give you an example. There's, what, I think like three dream sequences that don't really go anywhere, that don't benefit this plot at all. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is kind of demoted to a Catwoman-like situation in this movie. She shows up and there's a bit of banter with Batman, and she's kind of like doing the whole like I'm the thief act, and she's like, you know, getting to these parties because she wants to steal this, and I don't get it. I don't get the decision of cramming this movie with that much exposition about the next one and then making the characters that are in this movie suffer for it. I would have liked to see more Wonder Woman. That's all it is. I think the main thing about this movie is that it's just joyless. It's just soulless. That's really what it is. Remember, these movies are based on comic books. Remember that? Where's the levity? Heroism is supposed to be uplifting. This is just drab. It's just dark and moody. Batman is kind of an ass. Superman, it doesn't even seem like he really wants to be there helping these people for a lot of it. Like, there's the scene in the Capitol building when it explodes, you know, the Jarpist scene that I mentioned earlier. When the building explodes, Superman is kind of like, just like looking down like, aw shucks. Like, it doesn't even seem like that is a real tragedy to him, which I would imagine that the character of Superman that we know would have been devastated by something like that, by knowing that he allowed that to happen, that he was fooled into allowing that to happen. And you know what? I can't even blame the character here in this movie, this incarnation of the character, for him to be so kind of indifferent to the plight of humanity, because when you think about it, Pa Kent was the one that basically said, you know what? those kids. Maybe you should have left them drown in the first movie. And then Martha Kent in this film basically says, you know what? F everybody. Why bother? These are the people that instilled in Superman his drive for doing hero shit. And in this movie, and in the previous movie, they're just like, who cares? People die, I guess. People are obviously taking notice of all of these problems. Batman vs. Superman had the record, it holds the record now for largest drop-off in box office numbers. Apparently from one Friday from when it came out to the next Friday, it dropped 81%. That is the, like, record. And again, the big drop in these big tentpoles, blockbusters, I was almost gonna say summer blockbuster. It's kind of summery here in Calgary, 20 degrees here today, it's so weird. Anyway, it's common for these big movies to, you know, come out and then everybody rushes to see them, and then as the weeks go by, fewer people are going to see them, and almost nobody's going to see them twice like they did with, say, Star Wars. So it's common for these big blockbuster films to drop off quite a bit, but not 81%. That's the record. It's a record now. And if you think about it, that means that Batman vs. Superman is basically the movie equivalent of those pyramid schemes that fool a bunch of people at once in the beginning and then slowly starts to fall apart because people realize that they've been suckered. And that's what we have now. I hated Batman vs. Superman. I just flat out hated it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment. Just join the conversation. Be our friend here. We're all friends here. Even if you like Batman vs. Superman, I'm not gonna hold it against you. And that's everything. I'm Izzy, and I'm done. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Izzy, and over here, this is the Izzy. I can't make mistakes today. I gotta go have a shower.